when we leave the school environment, we experience significant changes in the way of approaching our educational and career path. So the school environment is more or less structured and straightforward. We follow a linear and predictable path. We have clear goals that are predetermined and broken down for us. We are also given a clear formula for how to achieve these goals and straightforward success metrics to know if we are achieving them or not. And then university for some, but for most, I think working life is very different. And I think what we ultimately experience is a shift from externally determined path, goals, guidance, and success metrics to internally determined ambitions, drive, and measures of satisfaction or fulfillment. And this can be very confusing at first because we were always used to looking to other people to know what to do, how to do it, and if we're doing it well or not. And we were never really taught to find these answers for ourselves. So in an Instagram poll that I did, 67% of respondents, so that's 70 young adults, said that the reason they experienced a kind of crisis when moving from adolescence to adult life was career related. So in this first episode of Topic Series 1, I want to explore more the 4 points that I mentioned earlier to understand how they compare to this new way of approaching our educational and career path as adults. And I also speak with other young adults to learn more about what they experienced and how they navigated these changes. So the first point I mentioned is that at school we follow a linear, predictable path. And what I mean by that is that we have visibility on what is going to happen next. So you know that you're going from this grade to this grade to this grade, and you kind of know what to expect from each year. And then when you finish school, there are many ways in which your path can go and evolve. So there is much more uncertainty and unpredictability. Of course, at different levels, depending on which career path you choose. So it can be challenging at first to navigate this level of unknown.
All your life you've been growing up looking forward to something. Like you're in kindergarten, you know that your next step is going to school. You're in school, you know that the next step is going to uni. Then uni, after that, it's like, okay, what do you do now? It was like, shit, like it's actually getting real that all my friends are getting jobs or they have already secured something for after their graduation, or they got accepted into a master's, or they're going to start their own company, or whatever the reason was. And I was finding myself in a situation where I didn't know what was going to happen because I wasn't really putting myself out there. So taking conscious of the what next, like what's coming next, what are you going to do, what's happening now, it's like scary enough for you to be like, okay, now I need to do something about it. So I think that was it for me. It was more of like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So might as well start to think about it and um, understand exactly what I want, or trying to try something, wanting to try something. It was a lot of reaching out to people on LinkedIn, a lot of messages, a lot of like CVs, asking for help, asking for some advice, etc. So it's like when I actually realized that no, you need to put yourself out there and take the matter into your own hands and do something about it.
So, what helped Sasha is first facing the situation and using fear as a driver for action, and then taking concrete steps to explore different possibilities and understand herself better in the process. The second point is that clear goals are determined and broken down for us. So, at school, it's like, okay, by the end of this year, you have to learn this and be able to do this. And then it's broken down by semesters, weeks, days, etc. And then when you finish school, so you get to choose your own goal. You can choose that you want to go to university to do this degree or get into this job or that career path, etc. So that's exciting and it's nice, but also sometimes it can be confusing if you feel like you don't know what you want. And I can relate to that a lot.
Right after graduating high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, like in terms of career path, where I wanted to move. I applied to like very different undergraduate degrees. I remember applying to like this very different and more academic degree at King's College, and it was called Digital Culture. I hated it, horrible experience. It was very hard to kind of assess like what I wanted. I would always ask, like, for example, my mom or my dad, like, what do they think? Do they think I should drop out, change career? And I remember my mom would always tell me, like, change, if you don't like it, change, do something you like. But I didn't know what I liked. So it was very, like, blurry. I ended up finishing the degree, and one thing led to another. And I did, like, my first job was at Burberry in London, in digital also, but I hated that too. So I remember like it was very, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing it to do it. So at Burberry, I did like a year and a half, almost 2 years. And I asked my manager to explore a bit like other teams. So I was interested in marketing. So he put me in touch with like the marketing team, and I kind of like had talks with them, meetings with them like once a week, and this helped me understand that I do like the marketing side of the business. So I feel like it is important to kind of touch base on what you don't like and try and narrow it down to see, okay, if I don't like this, maybe what's the next step to finding something you do like? Like, even for me, it was just having meetings with the marketing team at Burberry. Like, I didn't work with them, but it was just like understanding what they do and if I would see myself doing that. And I felt it was a time in my life where I was a bit stuck. Like, I felt like I was in London for 6 years, living very much in my comfort zone. So I decided I wanted to leave London, and I decided to apply to a master's in New York in marketing. So that was a shift where I am there now and I really like it. So I think that like me changing, moving away from my comfort zone and trying to explore something I do like, is kind of a good thing now because I feel more fulfilled, more in my place. And it was the first time, like, obviously I would ask people what they think, but no one was like, yeah, quit and go to New York and do your masters. So I remember, I just felt it was right, so I did it. At the end of the day, there's no right and wrong. This is what I kind of established. And also listening to your gut, I guess. Just it's just a feeling sometimes. I am someone that's very indecisive, so having like other people's opinion would really affect like my thinking and my decision making. So I used to assess like a lot. Also, my parents like play a big part in my life, so I always go to them for advice and like, what should I do? But also, it's kind of hard to for them to understand like what I like. So I feel like when like don't listen to people, listen to what you think and what you like, because no one knows, like no one is better than yourself for personal judgment because they're not you.
So, what helped Claudia is understanding what different people do and if she sees herself doing that. Also, getting into new, unfamiliar environments, and most of all, trusting her own personal judgment more than other people's opinions. The third point is that, so as we said, at school you have a goal that is determined, and then you are guided on how to achieve this goal. So you are given the textbook with exactly the information that you need to know, and then exercises to test your knowledge, and you have classes where you go through each chapter of the textbook and the exercises, and you can ask questions, etc. And then as an adult, when you set your own goal, you don't have a clear guidelines or formula on how to achieve it. There are many different ways that you can do that, and there are many ups and downs that come with succeeding in what you want to do.
My goal, I wanted to be a doctor. So this is what I'm studying actually, and I had this in mind. And looking back at school, I was someone that was very like chill and easygoing and didn't take life seriously. So and I used to like uh, think that everything came so easy and didn't work much to get where I wanted to be. Like the transition was hard for me because I had like a whole new level of information that I didn't know and that I had to acquire before even starting. And this was the hard transition for me because I was like behind, so behind on so many things, and I had to study harder to get where I wanted to. And eventually, like to be real, I did not manage to acquire everything, and I faced many difficulties to reach where I wanted to, and I did not. So I switched uni to a uni that is more into the American system and everything. I had to focus on my goal first of all, and like not listen to everyone, like what everyone was going to say, because in Lebanon, as you may know, there's a lot of people that are focused on you have to get there by this time and have this diploma by this time. So it's like, oh my god, you're losing a year. My parents wanted me to stop medicine at all because they told me like, just just don't do it. It's too long. It's time consuming. It will consume you in every possible way and everything. But again, uh, they were saying like from like just don't get overwhelmed, because they saw that I was a bit all over the place at the time. But at the time I really knew what I wanted. So thank God, because I do not see myself now as something else, like doing something else. And it taught me how to focus on my goals, and when I want something, what I have to do in order to reach it. And it's not like if it doesn't work one way or another, it won't work in another way. And it's not like if you don't have it the easy way, you won't have it at all. So I had to work for what I had, for what I wanted, and eventually I got where I wanted to be. I switched like the path, but not the career path, only the path to get where I wanted to be.
So, in this situation, Makram stayed committed to his goal, regardless of what others thought or said, and he took failure to succeed in the first attempt as redirection and learning, so adapted the path rather than the goal. The fourth and final point is on straightforward versus subjective success metrics. So at school, your grades tell you how well you're doing, and you either pass the year or you don't. So it's pretty simple to know if you're succeeding in this structure or not. But as an adult, success becomes, I think, much more personal and subjective. So some people base success on financial performance, others base it on well being, others base it on impact, or a combination of these. So, this means that you get to choose your own version of what success means to you. And this sometimes can be different to what other people in your life think that success means to you, or what a past version of yourself would define success as.
So basically, when I finished school, I knew exactly what I wanted. So basically, I was set on med school, and that's it. That was what I really wanted. So I started university as a pre-med student, and then when I got there, I realized that it's not what I wanted. But I had some external pressure from my family and from my friends. They all expected me to become a doctor because that's all I ever said I wanted to be. So they all were set on that, and I was starting to shift. After the first semester, I realized that it's not what I actually want to keep on doing. I love health and the health sector, but this is not what I wanted to keep doing for my entire life. And the fact that I started realizing that, and I had to break it to everyone, and I was deciding on switching majors, doing something different, that was a very tough period because I didn't know what everyone's reaction was going to be. And I felt like I was going to let them down in a way or another. So it was kind of difficult, but at the end, the fact that when I told them, I realized that no, this pressure, it was only in my head. They were gonna support me no matter what, and they did support me. It was a tough decision to make this step, but I did it, and I'm glad I did it.
What helped Sarah in this situation was first admitting to herself that her vision for her career had changed, doing what she felt was right for her, and taking courage in the face of potentially disappointing other people in her life. So this was episode 1 of the first topic series, which explores the changes that we experience from adolescence to adult life and their challenges. Each episode will be focused on a specific aspect of life, and so this one was educational and career path. And the next topic series will be focused more on exploring ways of developing the new skills that we need to navigate this new way of life. So let me know for you, what were the biggest challenges that you experienced or are still experiencing in your educational and career path, and also what topic would you like to see discussed in this series and the next one.